So I have a little case study I'm going to walk through for the last 15 minutes of the talk. And this is an actual real thing that I saw with my own eyes. It happened to me. I saw it. I talked about it. It's a little embellished to protect the innocent and simplify, but the ideas are sound. And I'm hoping that you can extrapolate from this how you can look at yourself. And you may say, oh, Mitch, you're not talking about how I can solve my problems. And I wish I could, but I may not be cognizant of your problems. I don't think we're going to solve them here tonight. My goal here is to give you a new way of thinking about and looking at your problems so that you can actually crack the code and figure out how to get your throughput up. So here's a real live case study. I actually saw this, like I said, with my own eyes. It's a little simplified, but this is pretty much it. And here's how it works. This is my motorcycle company. I get an order if I want to order a bike. And these are the steps that every bike has to go through to get out the door. Okay. I have to do the frame first. Then I wire the frame. Then I paint the frame. I add the power plant, the motor, gas tank. I add the transmission. Then I add the wheels, change the brakes. I test the bike to make sure it won't explode. Then I package it up and then I ship it. And I have no choice. And you can say, oh, that looks like a waterfall. And I'm like, yeah, that's because it is a waterfall, because ultimately all value is waterfall. It's just a matter of making sure that the water doesn't fall too far at any one time. But yes, in order to build a motorcycle, we have to start at the basics and build out to the details. So this is interesting. I now do an assessment. I say, I want to look at each one of these steps in manufacturing. I want to figure out where things are getting slowed down, because what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to get that bike from order to ship as fast as possible, so my customers are happy. I want to make sure I don't skimp on any quality, so I never skimp on testing. I never skimp on packaging, because those are things that guarantee customer satisfaction. So I do this little analysis. I'm going to take some notes, and I'm going to go to the motorcycle manufacturer. Like I said, let's talk about each of these steps. Or I'm going to go down to the gemba, if you're familiar with that Japanese word, the place where the work happens, the factory floor, or in this case, Zoom, in our case. And I'm going to look at each one of these steps, and I'm going to try and compare them and see if anything pops up in my mind that may look like something that delays our value. So I look at frame fabrication. First thing I noticed that, interestingly enough, for all models, the fabrication is the same. So we don't have to change. When we change models, nothing changes about either the frame fabrication or the wiring. And that's very convenient, because it means those are non-constraints. Those are things we do not have to look at. We don't have to worry about. We can let them go. We don't focus on those. Frame painting. Oh, that's interesting. When we change the paint color, it's very time consuming and expensive, because what we do is we paint the bikes in a special paint room. The paint room at Harley costs $1.5 million each. And every time they go from one color to another color, it's very time consuming, because they have to clean the interior and the paint mechanism itself. It's an automated system. So it's actually time consuming, manual, expensive process to change the paint. Plus, here's something I bet you didn't think about. When I go from one color paint to another color paint, I always waste paint. Always. You can't do it without wasting paint. So that's another cost that we might want to think about. Also, I may have custom colors, which means that I may have to mix and I may have to set colors that are not my standard operating procedure, but custom colors are very profitable. So it's something I want to focus on, because I know that there's high potential for profit. So now frame painting is starting to look like an interesting candidate to study. All right, let's look at power plant. Well, some models have upgraded engines. So when those engines upgrades are done, we have to change the line around a little bit. So there is some constraint on the power plant section. For the transmission, everything is the same. Transmission is a transmission. There's no upgrades. For wheels, some models have upgraded wheels. So every now and then, I'm going to have some time to change the line and insert the upgraded wheels. Maybe the upgraded wheels are very profitable. So wheels, that's another potential area of constraint because we do soak some time. Whenever we have to shut the line down and refit it for different wheels, there's a cost of delay. Chains and brakes, everything is the same for all models. Ready to ship testing and packaging, same for all models. So what we've done is we've identified the non-constraints.